Ben, is to make sure that everything is okay, kosher with secondary water, with the ditch that's going to be impacted, and with the city, so that there's no surprises. Ben, is to make sure that and start to work on this, that everything has been, T's have been crossed, I's have been dotted as far as the water situation is concerned. So, Walter and Carl, have you had a chance to look at this map and this project? Okay. And then, so Ben, do you want to just begin just by giving us a sort of just a brief overlay of what you're doing here? And
yeah, I can give you the real high level, which is probably obvious to you guys, but like Tony said, it's about 11.25 acres.
there we go.
Of the Rupp property. There's roughly 24 lots that are being planned. Going in there. My understanding from Daryl, and Carl, you would probably know better, or at least as good, but the way they used to water that was through that ditch right there, and that would supply the water for that. That's correct. That's what Daryl said. And Daryl said at some point in time, there was a ditch that came through here, but right through Butters, but I guess it according to Daryl, they don't take water out of it beyond that point. But
that ditch, I've never ever seen them water this with any ditch over here. This
Yeah.
has always been the ditch that they watered from.
yeah, so I guess that's we're kind of on the same page there as far as how they watered that, at least as far as we know. And
Would you point that out?
yeah,
Could you do that for me, Ben?
yeah, could you? So there's a ditch that comes up here, and I believe there's a head gate there, isn't there, Carl?
Yeah,
Or some sort of headworks, maybe they just use a dam, but a head gate right there, and that's how they used to water this piece. And it would just, sheet flow basically that way. There is, I guess at some other point in time, there was a ditch that went across the top of the property. But according to Carl, he's never, seen water in it, but I think that Ron Butters gets, I think he's the last person that ever uses water in that ditch there, so up here. But from my understanding, there's not a ditch on the property that would really be affected, but again, maybe Carl would know different, but
well, the ditch that comes into the property is a lateral.
here at the bottom.
Yeah, it's a lateral. This is a lateral. And the lateral runs along
That's that ditch down here.
yeah, that's a lateral. And that lateral runs along Wildflower Subdivision on the west side
Okay.
up to where the main ditch is.
Okay.
So that's a lateral, so that all that ditch is a private ditch, and any maintenance has to be done by the landowners. There is a head gate right where it comes into the Rupp property,
Right there.
Right where the arrow is.
right
yeah.
where the arrow is, but there's no impact. This subdivision will have no impact on the ability to water the adjoining property,
So,
which the adjoining property is here. So there's no impact. There's a head gate here that was used. That head gate will now be blocked off.
Okay.
Well, it's a screw head gate. But that head gate would be blocked off if the subdivision goes in. And then the lateral runs all the way along the property clear to here. And that's a piped 24-inch that we use also as a storm drain for the subdivision on the other side.
okay, doesn't run.
So this is all gated, and this is all piped all the way from the main ditch here, all the way along to here where it goes drains into the sewer.
So, thank you, Carl. So as far as the ditch company is concerned, this should not have any impact on any of your,
Won't have any impact on any of the properties that I'm aware of.
okay? Walter, secondary water.
Well, first off, there is no secondary water on his plans.
Isn't there a secondary line shown on there?
No, there's no secondary on plans you show us, but that doesn't matter now. What I need is, I need a big set of plans when you're done. Cause I gotta have drain up. I gotta have, because we drain up every year and we're not that deep, so I have to have places that I can drain that line out
Okay.
every fall. And then I'll need to have gate valves and a big set of plans so that I can go through them and see what we need to do. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And then according to the secretary, you could tell, I think there's enough water with that property to cover everything. Is that correct, Carl?
Yeah, they've got enough flood shares to cover the property. According to
For
our,
secondary water.
according to our records, they've got 11.50 shares. And that would need to be turned over in perpetuity as secondary system. The other thing that RUPS need to be aware is because the South Morgan Ditch will now have to change their water turns. To take that water out of the water turns, we charge a $25 per share fee that has to be paid prior to the time that that water would be designated for secondary.
But there is enough water on the property to cover your secondary water needs, correct?
That's the understanding I have, yes.
Walter, would it be, just thinking out loud here, if I could get you a set of those plans, like ASAP, would that be something you might want to redline and put what you needed? Then I could get those incorporated.
Yeah, that's
Those-
why I need them.
Yeah, okay. So if I got them to you like in the next, week or two or something like
Sure.
that.
Just,
Okay,
either call the office or Darcy Harris and or you can drop them off with me, or you can just drop
Okay.
them off to the office and then he can go through them and I'll go through them. And because I need to know the valves and I need to show you where to drain up. And
right,
we have to pressure up every spring. It's not like culinary.
yeah,
It doesn't stay live. We drain up every year, so I can't have it freeze.
right. Well, yeah, and I think that'd be pretty valuable because these just engineers are smart guys, but they have no idea how your system works and I want to get you what you need, so.
Yeah, just full set of plans and we use generally, if you split the lot, like you run a service, so you don't have any services are there for secondary. 1.5 inches go to a double lot and then you trade inch and single lots 1/2 inch. Probably ought to be a 4-inch main there.
Okay.
And then we'll have to have gate valves. I'll have to be able to have one down there so I can kill that little short stub, and at the bottom end of that one stub, we'll have to have a drain up for sure and a blow down.
Okay, all right.
But you get a set of plans and then I can redline it and
Yeah.
then send it back to your engineer. How's that? Or back to
Perfect.
you.
Yeah, that's great. I'll get you set in the next, like I say, next week or two.
Because it doesn't show anything on here. I could.
Yeah,
That's okay.
and maybe that's it should be on there, but anyhow, I'll get you set and we can get them redlined and so
Or
perfect, yeah.
Big set that we can read these here. That's even hard to read with a.
I can hardly see the sheet of paper, less on the lines on it, so.
Hold your eyes.
Yeah.
They'll also need water meters on each of those. for
Right.
each House.
Okay.
And they're getting harder to find.
Yep,
Yeah, that's a state deal.
okay. What else do I need to know?
So I have a question. I'm sorry. Is
Mhm.
that okay?
Yeah, go ahead, yeah, go ahead.
So
go.
on this portion here, you have the storm drain. Did you say it's buried? Is it a line? What is it?
What are you talking about? Which one?
Right here, but what's gonna happen is because.
The
this-
storm drain should be buried.
Okay. So what we have is when a residential butts up to an agricultural, they need to have a fence. And so we just want to make sure that we're gonna be okay, because they'll have a chain link fence right from here to here.
So the sewer line is on the property of the adjacent owner.
Okay.
And the fence line, pretty much the fence line is pretty consistent with the property line, except for one spot. This spot right here, the property line comes out a little bit on that corner right there, so here, they'd have to be careful that they don't bring their property line all the way out into the storm sewer. But it's very deep enough, you're never gonna hit it.
So it's on this side of that property line, not on the Rupp subdivision on, okay.
What it is, when we sold the property over here, what's the name?
Pheasant.
Pheasant Run.
Pheasant Run subdivision, in order to do that, we allowed them to drop the storm sewer into our lateral, okay? And so what they originally did is they just dug it all the way out, dug it out deep. But it was gonna be a mess, so our family went to the expense to pipe it all the way along. The developer did put the head gates in and that kind of stuff, but yeah, it's pipe 24-inch corrugated pipe all the way from where it comes out of the main ditch here, all the way to where it goes into the storm sewer here. And everything is on this property rather than Rupp's property.
When are you planning on doing this?
Thanks, Carl.
Summer.
Okay, because if our line's not loaded, you're gonna have to pass a hydrostatic test.
Okay.
And if our line's not loaded, then you'll have to furnish the water and figure out how to do it. But if our line's loaded, you can just use our line and slam your valve shut and we'll do a hydrostatic test.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure we'll do it when it's reloaded.
Okay, and we'll have to load everything, the services, everything. When you're done with all the services, then we'll go ahead and do a hydrostatic test and
Okay.
have to chase down where the leaks are.
Okay. Yeah, perfect.
And then it'll have to be bedded. If it's a bunch of gravel in there, you'll have to bring in sand and bed that blue poly pipe.
So, okay, I guess that's what I was gonna ask you too. The pipe preference, I know the water lines, they're still using ductile iron up here. Is that what you want for the secondary? C900 or?
Yeah, C900
Oh,
purple.
good. Yeah, perfect. I was surprised that
Rubber
they're,
O-ring cap.
yeah, perfect. Okay, good.
And then we've got saddles down there. We can show you what kind of saddles we want you to put on. We want the saddles turned off to the sideways. And then we've got a box down there to show you what kind of box, how to set up our boxes on the property line. And
Right.
we've all got that you can take a look at when you get ready to go.
Okay.
There's no place for this meeting, but
Right.
we can show you what we need. And then just talk to Darcy and she's got a package there. Have you got a package from her yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay, Morgan Secondary, do you want their number?
Yeah, please.
801-829-4424.
Okay.
And then Darcy Harris is the secretary. Ready?
Yep.
391-9901. And she's got a package there for you to show you what you need to have and
Okay.
what you need to get to satisfy us.
Okay.
Is this where the retention pond's gonna be?
Yes, sir. Yep.
So Ben, is the city water line down 400 west, is that a 10-inch?
Is that a 10-inch?
It shows on, I think it shows on the map, it's a 10-inch, I think.
You know, that sounds right, Tony, but
We was just looking at the map here and I think that's what it is. I think it comes off a 12-inch off Island Road and it is a 10-inch down 400.
That's off of the J. Jones, GIS maps. It should be accurate.
That's off the GIS. Okay. All right, but I think it is Ben.
Is
So,
that-
uh-huh.
It actually has a trace
So
of
you
water
should
on it.
have, that should suffice that subdivision, I would think. So but
Oh,
the engineer obviously would let you know on that as well. So,
yeah, they've said.
so Ben, do you need any other information from Walter or?
No, I think I got what I need. If you guys, like I say, I'll get Walter some more information. Water shares, I think we're good on the ditches, you know, that,
Sounds like it.
that aren't on the property. So as far as I know, I think we're,
Other inspector's number?
oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'll inspect it or Aaron will.
Okay.
Aaron's number is, I assume it's still 801-935-5793.
That's correct.
That's his number.
935, what?
5793.
5793.
One or he or I'll do the inspection on it.
Great, okay.
And obviously the city will do the roads and the compaction and all of that. I just more care about the pipe. And then you're
Right.
getting the right materials in.
Right, okay. Perfect.
Okay,
Tony, I apologize for being late, tied up in that other meeting.
all right.
You've probably already asked this. I'm not sure, so I just want to have a couple of questions for the ditch company. Has everything been covered to protect that ditch?
Which ditch?
We're
The lateral?
Yeah. We're good? And is there any easement rights that exist with this section of the ditch? Like we ran into Pheasant Run? Some problems with that prescriptive or whatever easement? Is that all covered?
Yeah, There's
I mean,
no,
you can't stop anybody from suing somebody. That's always gonna be a part of whatever, but
well, the Pheasant Run, the bottom line is the developer was told there was an easement and he didn't listen.
amen.
But there is
The only
no-
reason I'm,
There is no, to my knowledge, there's no easement issues related to this property and the adjacent property.
so it wasn't traveled on this subdivision side for 25 years. Four-wheeler, whatever, ran on that side of the ditch to water the other side. That's all okay?
Yeah, I mean, that properties, the adjacent properties belonged to our family prior to the time we sold it. And, there's no easement in that property.
Okay, great. That makes the future simpler.
From the Rupp subdivision.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Gentlemen, any
Can I ask a question? So is this subdivision gonna drain into that 24-inch pipe at the end?
No,
Okay,
No,
It'll end up in the one that this ties into.
okay.
There's the storm drain that comes down there and it'll drain into that. Right out the road.
covered everything? Any other concerns as far as ditch, secondary water, city? I think we're good then.
okay.
So, Yeah,
All right, I'll get working.
so, thank you,
Fair
everyone.
enough, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We will
Just won't take
adjourn the
that.
meeting. How's that?
Put it in the
Sounds
office,
official, Tony. Good job.
so that we have a copy of that, then, because if I keep it, I'll lose it.
no. I mean, now I think about it, there is an easement to the storm sewer line. The city has an easement to the storm sewer line, but not